All right, so this week we started our mystery unit, which I'm so excited for. It's one of my favorite units. And we have talked about so far that readers of mysteries ask, what's the mystery here? They ask, who is the crime solver? And they pay attention to clues. All right, so today I want to teach you that when reading a mystery, the only way readers can predict, the only way they can think forward so as to figure out who did the crime is to think backwards. Mystery readers pause and think back about what they know about each character to consider, might he be a suspect? Might she be a suspect? All right, so our anchor charts sticky note today says predict, drawing on suspects' motives and opportunities. And then I'll go ahead and show you this. Okay, so to figure out this mystery, to predict what lies ahead in the story, we need to pause and think back on what we know about each character, asking, might they be a suspect? Do you agree? So give me a thumbs up. So far, we have a major suspect in Wallace's disappearance. So do you agree, or give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, do you agree that Mr. Paskey is a suspect in Wallace's disappearance? What do you guys think? Do you agree that he might be a suspect? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Do you agree with me or no? I see Paxton's thumb, I see Zair's thumb, I see Akila's thumb, and Kamaya's, and Kamara's. I see Oscar's thumb, I see Irsu's thumb, I see Caitlin's thumb. I haven't seen Heavenly's or Niley's or Raylan's. Okay, so Raylan, make sure you're listening to me, okay? Okay. So remember, before we can figure out if one of those suspects actually did the crime, we need to think back on that person and ask ourselves, what do we know about that person? And here's another tip. Readers specifically need to think about the motives and the opportunities that the suspect had or didn't have. All right, so let's go ahead and try it together, trying to think about the character's motives and opportunities they did or did not have by looking back into the absent author, okay? So let's start with Mr. Paskey. Do you guys remember how he was looking so nervous? You guys remember that? All right, so it helps to think about the motives of a suspect. That means thinking, why might Mr. Paskey want Wallace to disappear? So I'm going to think, thinking. Well, maybe Mr. Paskey might want to keep the famous author all to himself. That could be a motive. But it doesn't seem likely. All right, so let me keep thinking about some of Mr. Paskey's motives. So I'm thinking. All right, so I am having a really hard time thinking about what Mr. Paskey's motives might be. Maybe he isn't the culprit after all, if I'm having a hard time coming up with motives. All right, so we also need to think about the suspect's opportunity to commit this crime. All right, so let me look back to chapter 2, and let me read about Mr. Paskey real quick. Okay, so Mr. Paskey couldn't have kidnapped Wallace during the book signing because people would have noticed him missing, right? Because Mr. Paskey was there and he was looking nervous. So he couldn't have slipped away and kidnapped Wallace because everyone saw him at the book nook. Perhaps he had the chance to commit the crime before the book signing, but I'm not sure he had a motive for wanting to do it. All right, so this is making me think that perhaps Mr. Paskey isn't the culprit at all, and that he is nervous for some other reason that we just don't know yet. All right, so did you notice that before I can figure out the mystery, before I can predict who did this crime, I need to think backward. Make sure you're listening and not making faces in the camera. I need to think backward to collect my thoughts about each suspect and specifically about their motives and opportunity. This is work that you can do whenever you read any mystery. All right. Does anyone have any questions about how you go back and think backwards to collect on suspects' motives and opportunities? Any questions? No? Awesome. All right, so we are now done with the lesson. So you guys are going to try and find your suspects in your mystery books and try and find their motives and opportunities to see if they might or might not be a suspect at all. All right, so let me go ahead and show you your reading for today. Make sure I have our Canvas page pulled up. Yep. Okay. Where do I go to find reading independent work? Heavenly?
Go on green reading.
Yep, go on green reading. Kyla, you need to remove the blanket because you can't see the screen with the blanket over your eyes. All right, green reading. And then Heavenly, what day of the week is it?
Friday.
It's Friday. So today I'm going to meet with Charlie and Oscar and also Nino. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to Friday. All right, so by the end of lunch, we'll have our independent work up here on this icon. All right, so you're going to read a mystery book at home or on Epic. And then I have Epic right here. And then you are going to complete your word work lesson 3. And then we'll have a read aloud at 9:45. So I'll go ahead and show you your word work for today. So make sure you are paying attention. Okay. So you're going to watch my video to learn about consonant clusters and endings. Now I looked to see how many people watched my word work video yesterday, and there was only about 3 or 4 of you that watched the video. So you need to make sure you click play.
I watched
today in word work, and you'll watch me. All right, and then just like you've been doing throughout the week, you are going to read each word below out loud and notice the ending of each word that begins with a vowel. So you'll notice the ending.
What word work are we supposed to get on today?
3. Where it says word work lesson 3. And then you'll click next. Let's see if I can, yep. All right, it says, please click on the assignment below to practice making words with the same consonant cluster ending. All right, so you'll click on the worksheet. You'll say, make a copy.
I just did that, like yesterday.
Yep, so this one is similar to yesterday, but it's different. So you'll share it to me. And then you will drag these icons to make words, okay? And then we'll go back to Canvas. And then you have a short 5-question quiz.
Look at her eating her breakfast.
It says, please choose the word that has the same consonant cluster and ending. So here's the example, string. And then your choices are A, STR, and then the ending ING, B, STRI, and the ending NG, or C, ST, and the ending RING. And then the correct answer would be A, because I have my consonant cluster, STR, and then my ending is ING. All right, and then we'll have our read aloud at 9:45.